Hi guys, we're going to talk about issues and rifle malfunctions right now, all right? There's a few things we may come across when we're out at the range or engaging people in real life. First one I want to talk about is if I come up, rotate my selector to fire, and I get a click, right? Something like that. It could be that I didn't get the round seated correctly. Maybe I even forgot to load the round, or I did the press check and I didn't seat it back in there. So what I want to do for that one is tap rack, guys, all right? So for the tap rack, it's going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to turn and face in a safe direction for y'all. When I come up on the gun, rotating the fire, right? I get that click. What I want to do is tap the bottom of the magazine, correct? I want to tap the bottom of that magazine, make sure it's fully seated into the gun, come up, grab the charging handle, work it, and then I'm going to try to engage again. So at that point in time, it'd be tap rack and the rounds are going down range. If we start having problems and there's other issues, tap racking is not fixing the problem, and I'm within gunfight distance or pistol fight distance at 25 yards, I'm going to transition to my pistol and start taking care of the threat with my pistol, right? I don't want to spend too much time trying to work the rifle because time in a gunfight, as we all know, seconds count, right? Good. So that's tap rack, simple remediation. If I have a stovepipe or something like that, that's fairly easy to fix as well. Same thing, tap rack. But what I'm going to talk about now is if I induce a double feed. All right, guys, so double feeds can be caused by quite a few things, right? Something I like to teach everybody is the acronym MEAL or MEAL-O, right? Kind of easy to remember. First one is I want to think about the magazine, right? Magazines are, they're perishable items, right? Magazines can break, feed lips can expand, they start having issues, starts putting too many rounds in the chamber, we can start inducing a double feed that way. So if you have a magazine, check that, and that's the first thing I would tell you to check. It's one of the easiest things to look at, right? The next one's my extractor. Y'all want to make sure you're looking at that when you're cleaning your rifles. The extractor's on the right side of the bolt. Take it apart. It's got that little claw lip on it, right? So I want to make sure that I clean that claw lip and get all that carbon buildup out of there, and I'm also looking for anything broken on that. If my extractor is broken, notify your armor or your range masters and get that extractor changed out because it's slipping off the case head, inducing that malfunction, right? Next one's ammunition. If you start shooting some like junk ammunition, steel case ammo, things like that, they might induce the malfunction. I know at my agency we teach or we use good ammunition. So I've never seen a problem caused because of ammunition, but that's the next thing I would want to check. And the last one's lubrication, guys. We want to make sure that these weapons are always lubricated, right? When we're checking them in our patrol car, we should be doing that monthly. You want to make sure there's a sheen of oil on the bolt carrier mechanism. If not, that can do some malfunction as well. The guns need to work and they need to work wet, and this Texas heat dries these things out really quick, especially in patrol cars, right? All right, so what I've induced, guys, is a double feed. I'm gonna hold the weapon up and down range. I'm gonna walk the line. I'll show you guys what I've got going on. So you see it's trying to put 2 rounds into the same hole, right? That's gonna be our traditional double feed. Good? Good? All right, so one of the easiest ways to remediate the double feed, if I can do it, is I wanna rack and get the bolt locked open if possible. If I can't do that, I'm gonna rip the magazine out, right? So if I'm coming up on the gun, go to try to fire, I'm actually gonna get a mushy trigger, right? I'm not gonna get a click because it's out of battery. So that's my first clue that something's not right. Roll that gun over, look in there. If I see a double feed again, if I'm within 25 yards and I'm in a gunfight, I want to transition my pistol immediately and start putting rounds down range. Once the threat's down, then I can reassess and fix my problem. If I'm not able to do that, what I want to do is try to fix it. First thing, if I can, is I want to try to lock the bolt open. If I can't get the bolt locked open, what I'm going to need to do is hit the ejection or the magazine release right here, and I'm going to have to rip the magazine out of the gun. If you notice, it's being held in place right now, right? Those 2 rounds are holding that magazine in place, so I need to rip that magazine out and get it out of the way, right? That magazine might be my problem. Once I look in there, the rounds are still in there. There's only 2 places the ammo or the rounds can fall out, right? The ejection port or the magazine well. So using gravity to help me, keeping my gun either up and down or rolling it over. At this time, I'm gonna work my action, try to lock the gun open. If I can, once I get it locked open, the rounds fell out pretty easily on this time. If the rounds don't want to come out too easy, I can use my finger, reach up into the magazine well, try to knock them out of place, right? Let them fall out. And then I want to grab a new magazine if I have one, put it in. So a new magazine, back in the gun, work the gun, I'm back in the fight.